Good evening, ladies and non-ladies. My name is Barbara Brownskirt, poet of the South London people and also a poet in residence of the 197 bus stop on Croydon Road in Penge. I have, up to date, I have written 24 volumes of poetry, and tonight I am going to be delivering, hot off the press, my latest volume, which is that well, it's going to be a surprise, basically, but you can wait. So I'm going to start without further ado. I'm going to start from volume 3, Furry Purses. In the beginning, there was a word, and it was Judy. Judy, 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 Dench. 10 hours I stood there. You walked past me on the red carpet. I was on the pavement, not red but grey. I watched you go by with yet another sigh. Judy, 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 Dench. Your smile and crinkly twinkly eyes, your little hairstyle high on your head. Sexy grandma. To me, you were wife material. Denchy, 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 Judy. How you make me want to clenchy. And I would like to travel my hand over your wobbly belly to cup the young Denchy. Thirsty, drenchy, a cup full of dench, quenched, time all spent. Judy, 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 Dench. Thank you. There are some people in here, but I don't know who they are. Isn't it hot? I did have a girlfriend once. I met a girl named Susan at a bus stop some years ago, and I wish I could say that our eyes met across the crowded room, but the truth was that she was drunk on lager and black, and I was just open to the world. She vomited down the back of my cagoule, and I escorted her back home, and thanks to years of living with my mummy, was able to put Susan in a correct recovery position. And that night I stayed over, and this is a poem about it. And this is from volume 10, Susan's Glove, and it's a poem as a list. This poem is called Susan's Small Snail Shell of a Studio Flat. Blue tack to wall, poster of Germaine Greer when young. Well-thumbed book, Our Bodies Ourselves on table. From the shower, you can push down the toaster. Kitchen cupboard full of kidney beans. 3 bars on old heater, no longer works. Fold up washing dryer, knickers smell musty. T-shirt with Iron Maiden on it over chair. Fruit bowl, 1 shriveled lemon. Futon on floor, Susan on it but out of it. I watch her sleep and cough while the neighbours have it off. Thank you. Over the coming months, we did have a sort of slow love affair. This was because she said she was very old-fashioned and didn't believe in sex before marriage. And it was 1999 back then, and gay marriage wouldn't exist for another 16 years, so I would have had a long wait. Sex is overrated anyhow. Adverts for yogurts and cars make you think that you might like it, when we all know it's perfectly possible to get by without it. I often think about those days, but this next poem is inspired by something that my ex Susan once said, which is that if you stare long enough at something, you will eventually see something. And it's a love poem from volume 16, Cramped Legs. And this poem is called 4 Days on Peckham Rye. 4 days I sat in the bush, waiting. The moon came up, across and down. 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 East to west, east to west, east to west, east to west. 4 days I had dogs sniff me, men touch me 4 times in the dark place. I saw the dew lift, fall, lift, fall, lift, fall, lift, fall. I thought of you for 96 hours, how you left me for the lady in Lewisham, with her small boobs and fat, freckled, flat face. I saw you sharing hummus in the vegetarian cafe. You bitch, you cow, you beautiful slug in my bag of lettuce. You were a bucket to me, filling me up, filling me up, filling me up, filling me up. Now I think, flip it, you're nothing but fluff, fluff, fluff. The 197 bus route joins us up. It ends, like most things in Croydon. You are in Peckham with your collection of walking sandals, me in Penge down the moon and stars, in brackets Weatherspoons, that I will sit alone in and hole punch all the photos of us until they are just O's on the floor, orgasms lost in the air, forever oh. Thank you. Thank you. I think everyone can associate with that. This is my next poem about Susan from volume 12, Susan's Remains. And this poem is called Cruelty-Free Shoes. Velcro fastening hiking sandal, 22 centimetres from heel to toe, green and clogged with mud. I will not let them go. They sit in my wardrobe from the final walk where we ate some corn chili con carne and you said, I want to talk. You said your shoes were cruelty-free just before you walked out on me. To explore Yorkshire, you said, when really it was Hebden Bridge. We know what goes on there in the woolen trousers of women who do not use perfume or mascara because of castoreum obtained from the anal sex gland of the beaver, civet substance scraped from the glands of the pouch of the cat. You said my hairbrush was made from pig hair and my soap from hard animal fat squeezed from their kidneys, and my shampoo was gelled by the brittle parts of shrimps and crabs, and my duvet the plucking of a duck. You said it was duck molestation. You said it as if you were the plucked duck. I sometimes wear your cruelty-free shoes in a vain attempt to be close to you. I eat cheese, free cheese, so I can be inside you, travelling along the miles of your colon. I wear organic socks so I can be close to your ankles. And still I say, I do, I do, I do. Although you do not ask, because another woman has filled my shoes and she wears Converse, which are about as vegan as a bacon sandwich with Worcester sauce made from anchovies' eyes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's keep up the sense of joie de vivre, shall we? My next poem is from volume 23, Tropical Moments and Silent Wombs, and it's the menopausal poem. I know you've all been waiting for this set, and this is called Menopause. Who put the word men into menopause? Who put the word men into menopause? That's as far as I've got so far. I said it's a work in progress. After such an overwhelming demand for my poetry to address the situation, I shall now read from my new work, which is volume 24 of poetry, The Bus Stop Will Not Be Sanitised. And this reading is the first hot off the press time, and it is arriving in your ears before anyone else's ears. So it's really quite exciting for you. This is the first poem, and it is called The Blackberries Are Worrying Me. At this time of year, they suddenly appear, green, pink, sour, red, tart, purple, plump, almost in a blink, pouches of black ripened juice, clusters of hope. They thrive before I can save them. They dive to the ground into the gobs of birds and limping foxes. And still, across the playing field, 50 steps away in my pumps, Penge Sainsbury's sells them for £1.50 in a plastic punnet with non-recyclable film, all the way from Loch Tay, grown by a farmer, it says, Peter Arbuckle, who I'm sure has good, clean, sanitised hands. But they have been here all along, ripening opposite the dog shit bin. Thank you. And I have brought some Penge blackberries for you to all see that are on the playing field just behind Sainsbury's. So it's a demonstration in itself, really. This is the next poem. It's called The Snoggers. And I wrote this at the bus stop. The bus stop is not full, even though it's rush hour. And a boy presses a girl against the bench, her hands, like a scarf, wrap round the back space of his neck. They start getting really into it. His coral pink tongue moving in her mouth real deep, as if it isn't just a kiss, but a dress rehearsal for something later. In the same way they can't stop snogging, I can't stop watching them snogging, thinking about the rules, the rule. My mouth quite forgets it's there until I have a poem in it. So if you don't ever kiss or have a lady friend again, does it mean you can no longer call yourself a lesbian? So that's all something for you to think about. Thank you. This is not a work in progress, this next poem, but a future work poem. This month, I'm sure, like a few of you, you will be joining the exclusive Eat Out to Help Out Club in order to write a poem about it. I have lots of plans and ideas for my 5 p.m. early slot. And the poem will be called Table for One at the Carvery. So that's on its way. And that'll happen soon, because the future will, I hope. This next poem is dedicated to all the people who once again are feeling that their sense of liberty is being taken away. And this poem is called Not For You. And you know who you are. You think a face mask is not for you. You think the 1 metre plus rule is not for you. You think hand sanitizer is not for you. You say cards only is not for you. You say washing hands is not for you. You say tenor lady is not for you. You say Black Lives Matter is not for you. You say science is not for you. So when you're sick, you know without thinking the NHS is for you. Right, my next poem is, I've only got 203 poems left to go, so hope you're all settled in nicely. Next poem is from volume 18. It was written a while back when we could all buy one-day travel cards and just be free. So this volume of poetry is called Journeys on a One-Day Travel Card. And it's inspired by a journey on the tube where a man sat with his legs so wide open, there was no room for me to sit comfortably and enjoy my sandwiches. And this poem is called Faberge Eggs. Faberge eggs, Faberge eggs, Faberge eggs between your legs. Mind the gap, mind the gap, mind the gap in your lap. Little pillows of life, balls I won't play with. You with wires in your ears, playing music along with your exposure. And your suit, shiny, all cheap. My knees are pressed together, tightly packed gherkins in a jar for two. Your arms are on both armrests, claiming your throne. I make myself smaller, small, invisible, you'd rather I was gone, so you can be full of gaps, cutting shapes with the open scissors of your legs. My elbow presses yours, a hint, and you pretend not to notice. But you notice when my legs open and my knee presses against yours and we sit there in the rush hour, knee on knee. Emmeline Pankhurst would be proud of me. Both our legs open, all equal on the underground. And I don't stop until you shut your scissors and stand up at bank where your hot throne is quickly filled by a woman who crosses her legs. Faberge eggs, Faberge eggs, Faberge eggs between your legs. Right, that's it. I've had enough.